Greetings, welcome back to PinkOddBird. Today we are here to take a look at revamping this little dresser, so let's go ahead and get started. I would like to try and see if I can revamp this little desktop or tabletop drawer-y, cabinet-y situation. I don't know, I think this may have been handmade at some point, but as you can see, it's in pretty bad condition. Some of the knobs and hardware situation stuff here is missing, and like I said, I'm kind of just learning. I am not new to crafting, and I do consider this a crafting type of project, so I'm gonna kind of wing it and use my best judgment for most of this. So I hope that you all will enjoy hanging out with me on this little project, and let's see how this turns out. Let's go. All right, so the first thing I want to do is take it outside because it looked like someone was harboring dirt in here. So I have to shake all of the dirt out of each one of the drawers and the base of the dresser. So again, this kind of just shows what I was telling you about how I think it was handmade, the drawers being a little loosey-goosey, but that's all right. So I'm just going to start cleaning this up and tearing off some of the old paint. As you can see, that didn't take very much effort. Some of this paint is really just literally flaking off, so I'm not really sure what painting method was used previously, but it's coming off pretty easy, so I'm happy with that. But for now, I'm going to get started with sanding the rest of this down, which is going to take me a while. And if you are doing this, make sure you're in a ventilated area and preferably with a mask. So let's go ahead and dive in. I know, you must be upset, drowning in your tears that I didn't show you the sanding portion, but trust me, I saved you a lot of jaggedness and repetitiveness. So I just went ahead and used the coarse sanding paper to get this all sanded down as a primary sanding, and now I'm ready to move on into using the smooth sanding paper to prepare it for priming. Okay, as you can see, I've got all of the sanding done, and I've given this a nice dusting to get all of the dust off of the crevices of the drawers and everything like that. So now we're ready to do a little bit of cleaning with this. So I have this solution, TSP substitute, liquid substitute. It's an all-purpose heavy duty cleaner, and it's used for preparation of painting. So I'm going to use that to further clean this. I've got my gloves here and a cloth and a vessel to put my solution in. So I'm going to go ahead and get my solution ready to go and start the cleaning process on this this piece here. I also will mention that I didn't decide to put any wood filler on this because I am going to attempt to see if I can find some more dowel pulls as the ones that were in here already, and if I can't, then I'll consider filling these holes and just sanding it lightly and then adding some new pulls to these drawers. So that's the situation on that. Okay friends, I have given this little baby 2 full wipe downs with the cleaning solution, so it's all clean and prepped and ready to go. And looks like the Amazon delivery was for me, so I can't be too mad. So depending on how long this takes to dry, I may be able to at least get it primed today, but if not, I will resume this project mañana. All right, friends, it's a new day, and here we are back again with our little freshly sanded and prepared box. Now, as you know, I did remove those old knobs. They were just not terribly nice looking or functional. So what I did was, after much pondering, I found that these little wooden knobs, and I just found these on Amazon. There are 10. And I will link these down in the description for you guys if you're interested to know. They're really nice size. So I thought that it would be nice to use these as knobs. Now, since these drawers are not, I don't think they're going to be carrying gold slabs. So I'm not terribly worried about the fact that, even when you look at this, the holes were never really drilled through. They were just dowels. So the previous knobs never went all the way through. Now granted, some of those did fall off, but I also think they weren't glued in. They were just kind of stuck in because I didn't have any resistance other than the paint around where the drawer and the knob meet. And once I got that off, they came out quite easily. So since this space here is a very small space and it would be really hard to get back here with the screwdriver and screw in a new handle, what I decided to do was use the Type Bond 2 premium wood glue to glue these on to the drawers. So I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want to get it all dirty and sandy after I've cleaned it in the last little segment. So what I decided to do was I'm going to take 8 of these little knobs, and I'm just going to sand them slightly just to give them a little bit of tooth because I want the glue to have something to grip to. So I'm just going to just lightly scuff these so that they're not smooth as they were before. And now that one's ready to glue. Well, I will actually be going through and getting any residual dust off with the microfiber cloth, and then they're ready to glue. Okay? Okay, now that they've been sanded, I'm just going to give them all a dusting to remove any residual sand or wood. I guess I have the beach on my brain. It's a really nice day today, and I live so close to the beach, and earlier I was thinking about going. So sand is on my brain. All right. All right, now we've got these all sanded down and ready to go. Now I will say, I know the glue says that you're supposed to clamp them on for 30 minutes, and I don't think that I have a clamp that would reach. So I'm just gonna hold them on in place as good as I can until I feel like they're latching onto the wood. Okay, so I'm just gonna start taking my drawers and just make sure they're all clean. And here we go. perfect. Now I do want to hold these in place for a second to let them latch, and then we'll move on from there. But I like these. It looks like there's a nice comfortable amount for your finger to slip under to pull the drawer out. So I think that's perfect. Alright, so here are all of the little drawers with the knobs now glued on. So I'm going to set these aside and give them some time to dry, give the glue some time to cure. And while we do that, I want to take the main piece here and start getting the first coat of primer down on it, so that this can also start to dry and I can maybe kind of go back and forth. All right, so I'm gonna take one of my brushes and since I'm trying to get like a nice big coat, I'm gonna take the 2-inch brush. Definitely going to get more coverage for this, so I picked out a multi-surface stain blocking primer and sealer. As you'll see in a little bit here, I will be using satin paints today, but I think next time I try this, I would like to use chalk paints just to see some different finishes and different textures that I can get by using different paints. So I'm looking forward to that, but here we are, all primed and ready to go. Okay, boys and ghouls, we are all set to go. The primer has dried, and I'm ready to get that first coat of paint on here. So this is what I have, bare. This is just a little sample size, and this is the interior exterior paint and primer in gray. The color is oh, I forget the name of the color. Oh, Downtown Gray. And it is a satin finish. Let's give it a good little shake. And here we go. So I'm gonna get started with the drawers just because there's a little bit more crevices on the drawers and such. If paint tends to pool there at all, it takes a little bit more time to dry. So I forgot to stop and say that I am on the second coat of the gray paint now. The little drawers have been painted on the outsides and the bottoms. I haven't decided about the insides yet. I know that I need to either paint the insides or line them. I might end up painting them, but I would have to wait until everything is fully dry to do that. So yeah, just working on the second coat. Okay friends, here's where we are so far, and it is looking so good. So I am going to just let this have a chance to dry fully, and when we come back I want to do some detailing with a different color. So yep, that's what'll be next today. So now this is fully dry, the knobs are all set, and I am ready to move on to the next phase, which is going to be and you know, like I said, I think this was handmade, so the drawers are a little cattywampus, but I don't personally mind that. I'm going to be using this round brush today because I watched a video by Katcha, and she shows you how to do some cool dry brushing techniques. And so I want to try and do some of that today, and so we'll see how that goes. I am really just kind of experimenting and just trying to see. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to craft something. I'm going to be using the Bear Satin Black. And I just have some paper off to the side to make sure the brush stays dry. While I do this, I'm going to give my paint a shake, and I'm going to just try and dive in, and let's just cross our fingers that this turns out good. If it doesn't, then, well, you know, it was a learning experience. I love how it's starting out so far, and one thing I will say is this is quite like distressing, and you know how we distress on our paper, which I don't really do it very much, but this distressing is so fun. Now I want this to look really grungy and destructed, but not quite destructed the way that it was when I got it. I'm going to be actually reselling this in my friend Janine's witchy market that she's going to be featuring me in August, and I want to be able to have a piece that will cater to her audience. So I am going to kind of design this in a fashion to where it can be used by really anybody, but you know, I have something similar to this on my desk. And I store like paper clips and scraps in mine, so really it can be used for anything. But now it's time to highlight. Alright, so as I mentioned, this is going to be sold in a specific market. So instead of purchasing like a stencil or something like that, I decided that I would just take an image and just cut it out. I'm using just a regular XoXo knife, and this is just me cutting it out on my copy paper. And you know how hindsight tends to be 20/20? Well, this is the copy paper, and I did actually cut this all out and it turned out perfect, but I decided that I wanted to have it on a little bit heavier paperweight, just so that it would give me a little bit more stability when I'm tracing the image onto the wood piece. So I'm just retracing I guess this is the negative impression of it, onto a heavier piece of cardstock, and then I will cut that out and use this little piece as my actual stencil or tracing guide. Is there a project that can be done without our main man, Tim? I'm going to take my Tim Holtz ruler, find the center of where the side panel is, because that's where I would like to place this image, and just line that up with my image. And then for a little bit extra security, because I am clumsy rumsy, I want to tape this little image down while I trace it, just to ensure that it doesn't move. Also, shout out to my friends Janine and Priscilla for letting me bug them a bit. I had so many questions for them. Priscilla, especially, I know, was probably wearing her out. All right, it's time to start filling this in. So I'm just going to take the same paint that I've already been using and just color this all in. And I want to get this done with 2 coats. So I will let the first coat dry, flip it over, do the other side, because I want this image on both side panels, and then come back around and do a second coat to seal that off. All right, we're getting down to the final stretch here. I'm going to be using this fast drying polyurethane clear satin top coat just to make sure that everything stays nice and in place, fresh and sealed. All of the work that we have done on this little piece. This is an interesting top coat. I do believe it is oil based. I love the way that it feels when it's dry, but like I said, I am looking forward to using chalk paints and some other different types of paints in the future to try and get some different feels and textures on my pieces. So all right, who's ready to see this? I'm ready to see this. Can we go see this? So this is it, friends. If you guys like this video, please remember to leave a thumbs up on it. If you want to see more videos like this, leave a comment down below and let me know. And I think that is going to wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned, because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.